Have you ever looked down at your palm and noticed a soft, crescent-shaped line, curved like the moon, faint yet impossible to ignore? Most people wouldn't think twice, just a crease, a coincidence. But in ancient Eastern traditions, especially in Buddhist and spiritual teachings, that tiny moon is not just a mark, it's a message that your soul is ready, not for something ordinary, but for transformation. You see, some signs don't speak in thunder, they whisper. And this one, it whispers of awakening, change, and a sacred shift that may be unfolding in your life, especially as we enter 2025. If you felt more introspective lately, more restless, more sensitive, more aware of signs that others overlook, you're not imagining things. Because this crescent moon isn't just a symbol, it's a signal, a reflection of something stirring quietly within you, an inner call to step into the next chapter of your spiritual journey. And if you found this video, it means that call is already being answered. Stay with me. What you're about to hear may explain not just the mark on your hand, but the changes in your heart. In Buddhist teachings and ancient Eastern philosophies, the body is seen as a mirror of the soul. Every line, mark, and symbol holds deeper meaning. Among the rarest and most mystical is the crescent moon mark on the palm. It's not just a skin fold or a coincidence. It's a spiritual emblem and energetic seal from the universe. This mark symbolizes spiritual rebirth, the expansion of consciousness, and a soul's readiness for its next stage of evolution. In many traditions, the moon represents mystery, intuition, and transformation. When it appears on your hand, it signals that your inner world is aligning with higher truths that are ready to emerge. According to monks and mystics, those who carry this symbol are not ordinary wanderers. They are old souls who have lived many lifetimes and are now awakening to forgotten wisdom and hidden potential. The crescent moon doesn't appear on everyone. It shows up when the soul is ready to shed its old layers and step into clarity and purpose. So if this mark lives on your hand, don't overlook it. It's not just a sign, it's a reminder that your soul has a story it's ready to remember. The first and most powerful sign that something within you is shifting is a quiet spiritual awakening. If you carry the crescent moon mark on your palm, you may begin to feel that certain things in your life no longer fit. Conversations feel empty, familiar places feel heavy, and repetitive habits start to feel like cages. It's not a dramatic change from the outside, but a subtle stirring within. Your soul is waking up. This awakening often begins with a sense of discomfort, not pain but a quiet restlessness, a longing for something deeper. You may feel drawn to solitude, to silence, to reflect more and speak less. It's your inner voice growing louder, asking to be heard after years of being drowned out by noise. You might begin to notice patterns you'd overlooked, repeating numbers, strange coincidences, vivid dreams, or unexpected encounters that seem to carry meaning. Your intuition sharpens. Things you once dismissed as unimportant now feel like sacred signs. This is your soul's language, and it's finally being understood. You may feel like you're changing, but can't explain how or why. That's because spiritual awakening doesn't shout. It whispers. And those whispers, those subtle shifts in perception, are preparing you for the next stage of your journey. So if you've been feeling more sensitive, more aware, or simply more curious about your inner world, don't ignore it. That is the awakening. That is the light stirring in your soul, gently nudging you forward. Because for those who carry the moon on their palm, the first sign of transformation is always felt within, long before it's seen without. The second sign that the crescent moon mark is activating within you is the breaking of karmic cycles. Have you noticed that certain patterns in your life keep repeating? The same emotional pain, the same type of relationship, the same setbacks again and again. It's as if life has placed you on a loop, and no matter what you do, you keep returning to the same place. But when the crescent moon appears on your palm, it's a sign that this cycle is coming to an end. In Buddhist philosophy, karma is not punishment, it is learning. And once the soul has learned what it needed, the lesson dissolves and the path clears. That's what this sign means. Your soul is ready to release the burden, forgive the past, and finally be free of the invisible contract that's kept you bound. This release can be emotional. You may cry for no reason. You may feel waves of exhaustion or clarity. It might even feel like losing a part of yourself, but it's not loss. It's liberation. Yes, it can be painful because the ego resists change. But beyond that, pain is peace, lightness, a quiet knowing that you've closed a chapter that no longer serves your highest self. This isn't the end. It's the sacred pause before a new beginning. If you've been sensing that something heavy is lifting, or that you're being pushed to let go of people, places, or beliefs that once defined you, trust that feeling. Because when karmic cycles break, your true journey begins. And for those with the moon in their palm, 2025 is not a time to repeat. It's a time to rise. The third sign of transformation for those who carry the crescent moon on their palm is the awakening of dormant gifts. You may begin to notice a shift, a sudden sensitivity to energy, an unspoken knowing, or even dreams that feel like messages. These aren't random. They're signs that your soul's forgotten abilities are beginning to stir. Many who bear the moon mark have always felt different, but never quite understood why. Perhaps you've had moments of deep intuition, empathy so strong it feels like you absorb the emotions of others, or a mysterious connection to nature, art, or healing. These are not accidents. They are gifts seated within you long ago, waiting for the right time to bloom. And that time is now. These abilities may show up quietly at first. An urge to meditate, a fascination with spiritual teachings, a natural pull toward healing practices or creative expression. You may find yourself suddenly drawn to astrology, energy work, or helping others in ways that feel strangely familiar, like remembering something your soul always knew. According to ancient teachings, these gifts are echoes from past lives resurfacing not to impress, but to serve. They are tools for your higher purpose. And as they awaken, so does your ability to step into a more aligned, meaningful path. So if you're feeling different lately, more open, more intuitive, more inspired, don't ignore it. These aren't coincidences, they're callings. Your gifts are not outside of you. They are already within you, just waiting to be remembered. Because when the crescent moon begins to shine, the light you carry inside begins to rise. The fourth sign that the crescent moon on your palm is guiding your transformation is a powerful shift in your life purpose. You may begin to feel it quietly, an inner tug pulling you away from what once felt stable, toward something unknown but deeply meaningful. It's not dissatisfaction, it's awakening. A realization that the life you've been living no longer reflects who you are becoming. Suddenly, your job may feel empty, your routines uninspiring. You might question your role, your path, even your relationships. This isn't a crisis. It's a calling. Your soul is whispering, it's time. Many who carry the moon mark feel this urge to start over in 2025, not to escape, but to align. You may be drawn to helping others, expressing your creativity, healing, teaching, or serving in ways that once seemed distant or even impossible. And even if the details aren't clear yet, the feeling is unmistakable. You are being called to live with purpose. This shift often comes with discomfort because growth always asks us to leave comfort behind. But it also brings clarity. You'll begin to see what matters, what no longer fits, and what your soul is truly here to do. Your path may change direction, but it won't be random. It will be guided. So if you feel like you're outgrowing your current life, honor that. It's not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough. Because when the crescent moon reveals itself, it's a sign that your purpose is no longer something to find, it's something to remember. And in remembering, you step fully into who you were always meant to be. The fifth sign that the crescent moon mark is awakening within you is the quiet but powerful reorganization of your energy and sensitivity. As your soul begins to shift, your inner frequency rises, and this changes everything. What once energized you may now feel draining. Places that used to comfort you might feel heavy. Conversations that were once entertaining now seem empty. This isn't a mood swing. It's a sign your energy is refining. You may find yourself more sensitive than usual, not just emotionally, but spiritually. Crowds might overwhelm you. Loud noise or chaos may feel unbearable. You'll start seeking solitude, nature, and deeper moments of peace. Your body and soul are craving alignment. This sensitivity is not a weakness, it's awareness. You're tuning into what your soul truly needs and letting go of what no longer matches your vibration. It's like your inner compass is resetting itself to point toward your true north. And with this shift, you may begin to attract new people, new ideas, and new experiences that feel more aligned. At the same time, some old relationships may naturally fall away. This is part of the cleansing. You're not losing people, you're making space for what resonates. You might even feel a creative spark return or a desire to engage with healing practices, spiritual teachings, or meaningful projects. That's your soul expressing its new rhythm. So if you felt more tender, more selective, or more inward lately, trust it. This sensitivity is sacred, because when your energy reorganizes, it's preparing you not just to feel more, but to live more consciously, more fully, and more authentically. The sixth sign that the crescent moon mark is guiding your transformation is the rise of synchronicities and unexpected transformative encounters. Have you ever stumbled upon a video, a book, or a conversation that felt like it was meant just for you? Something small yet strangely powerful, so precise it gave you chills? These are not coincidences. They are synchronicities, the universe's way of speaking when the soul is ready to listen. For those with the moon in their palm, 2025 may bring a series of these accidental moments that begin to feel like destiny. A person enters your life with the exact words you needed to hear. A stranger's story mirrors your own. A forgotten memory resurfaces just as you're seeking direction. This is divine timing at work. Sometimes these people or messages appear briefly and then move on. Other times they stay, helping you unlock a new version of yourself. Either way, they're mirrors reflecting the parts of you that are ready to awaken. You may also notice signs repeating: numbers, animals, words, songs, each one carrying a message, urging you to pay attention. The more aware you become, the clearer these signs get. Synchronicities are your confirmation that you're on the right path. They guide you, reassure you, and often appear when you're about to make a meaningful shift. So if lately life has felt like a string of meaningful moments woven together, embrace it. You're not imagining things, you're aligning. Because for those marked by the crescent moon, the universe doesn't just speak, it guides. And when you begin to trust these whispers, life becomes less about chance and more about purpose. The ninth and perhaps most defining sign of the crescent moon mark is arriving at the energetic crossroads, the choice point. After the awakening, the breaking of karmic cycles, the surfacing of your gifts, and the synchronicities guiding your path, comes a moment of decision. It may not appear dramatic from the outside. It might be as simple as saying yes or no, taking a step or choosing to wait. But spiritually, it's monumental. This is the moment the universe pauses and waits for you. You may feel it as an inner pull, a quiet knowing that you can no longer live on autopilot, that you're being asked to choose between the comfort of the familiar and the courage to follow the unknown. This is not a punishment, it's an invitation, a sacred test to see if you're ready to live in alignment with your awakening. And there's no wrong choice, only the choice that either keeps you in the cycle or sets you free. You might feel fear, that's normal. But beyond that fear lies your freedom, your power, your truth. This is the shift that turns transformation into action. That takes all the signs, insights, and inner stirrings and makes them real. So when that moment comes, and it will listen closely to your body, your breath, your intuition, your soul already knows the way. Because those who carry the crescent moon are not here to stay the same. They are here to choose growth, to choose truth, to choose the path that only they can walk. And one small decision, made with full awareness, can change everything. Let me tell you a story. Born into poverty in rural Mississippi, Oprah endured a childhood marked by trauma, instability, and emotional pain. For years, she lived through cycles of hardship, self-doubt, and patterns that echoed suffering until something within her began to shift. She often speaks about a moment of inner awakening in her late 20s when she realized her life was not just about survival, but about purpose. This realization wasn't loud or sudden. It was a whisper, a knowing. She began to make different choices, stepping away from roles that didn't align with her truth and leaning into her gift, connecting with people through honest, soulful conversation. Her journey reflects the exact signs we explored, breaking karmic patterns, discovering spiritual gifts like intuition and empathy, and embracing a life purpose rooted in service. Along the way, she encountered synchronicities, mentors, books, and moments that arrived at just the right time to guide her forward. Eventually, Oprah stood at a crossroads between being a successful talk show host or evolving into a spiritual teacher and media leader. She chose alignment over comfort, launching platforms like Super Soul Sunday to share deeper truths with the world. That choice changed everything, not just for her, but for millions. Oprah's story is a living testament to what happens when someone listens to their soul's calling, follows the signs, and makes that bold, quiet decision to live authentically. And like the crescent moon on the palm, her journey reminds us that awakening isn't reserved for the mystics. It lives within us all, waiting for the moment we're ready to choose it. In today's fast-paced, digitally overloaded world, many middle-aged and older adults find themselves quietly questioning the path they've walked. The roles of parent, partner, worker, or caretaker may have defined them for decades, but what now? Beneath the noise of daily obligations, there often arises a subtle inner voice asking, "Is there more to me than this?" That question isn't a sign of crisis, it's a sign of awakening. The crescent moon mark, whether literal or symbolic, reminds us that it's never too late to rediscover who we truly are. Modern life may celebrate youth and productivity, but real wisdom is born through experience. And in the second half of life, we are finally equipped with clarity, perspective, and emotional depth to begin living from the soul instead of survival. You may feel more sensitive, more reflective, or less tolerant of superficial things. That's not aging, it's evolution. It's your spirit asking you to let go of outdated roles, to break free from cycles that no longer serve you, and to align your days with meaning rather than routine. Whether it's taking up meditation, reconnecting with nature, volunteering, or simply spending more time in silence, these are not luxuries. They are necessities for a soul that's waking up. The most powerful transformation often begins in the quietest moments, and it's in those moments that we remember. We are not here to just get through life. We are here to live it consciously, purposefully, and in alignment with who we were always meant to be. Now that you've heard all the signs, the awakening, the release, the gifts, the purpose, the synchronicities, and the crossroads, maybe you're sitting there quietly thinking, could this really be about me? And if your heart stirred even a little while listening, then yes, it very well could be. The crescent moon on your palm may be a visible mark, or it may be an invisible energy quietly pulsing within you, waiting to be noticed. Either way, this message isn't about superstition, it's about soul recognition. It's about honoring the deep knowing inside that says, I am ready for something more. Transformation doesn't require noise or speed. It doesn't demand perfection. It begins with awareness. It deepens with reflection. And it takes form through the small, courageous choices you make each day to live more aligned, more awake, more you. So how about you? Are you feeling the shift? Have you noticed life nudging you in a new direction? Are you ready to release what no longer serves you and embrace what your soul has always known? If this message resonated with you, don't let it be just another moment that passes. Let it be a turning point. Write this affirmation in the comments: I accept the truth that already lives within me. This simple act turns listening into intention and intention into transformation. And if you found comfort, clarity, or inspiration here, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you love. You never know who else is silently searching for a sign, because when one person awakens, they light the way for others. And in a world that needs more light, your journey truly matters. So go gently, but go boldly. Your path is already unfolding,